Okay, now let's take care of the toString function. What we're going to do with the toString function is we're going to actually implement it in two places. Okay, we're going to implement it in the abstract stack, and we're going to implement it in the array stack. To implement it in the abstract stack, we need to use the iterator. Okay, so I'm going to override public string toString. And the typical way you do a toString function is you create a string buffer. I'm sorry, that's I'm going into the past here. The new way to do it is create a string builder, SB new string builder, and this is something that just lets you keep appending to a string, and it's not as expensive as doing a plus equals to a regular string. So string builder, and I'm just going to iterate through the values using a, let's see, I don't think I can use a for each loop here, and the reason is because I want to put commas between each of the elements. And in order to put commas between each of the elements, I have to know if there's any more elements left. So unfortunately, I can't use a for each loop to do that. So I'm going to use an iterator. Equals this iterator. And I'm going to say while iterator has next to the typical iterator thing. I'm going to say SB append iterator dot next. Okay, and since append is expecting a string, it should automatically convert that to a string. And then here I'm going to say if the iterator has a next element, or actually if the iterator does not have a next element, I want to put a comma in there. SB append, and in fact I want to put a comma and a space. And then I want to put some opening brackets, closing brackets, and I want to put the capacity. So for the opening brackets, SB append open bracket, and then the closing bracket goes here, SB append closing bracket. And the last thing, I want to put a closing bracket, then a colon, because I want to put the capacity there. SB append this dot capacity. All right, and the last thing I do is return SB dot toString. All right, and that should give me a general string function, toString function that works with any stack that has an iterator that goes from bottom to top, which all the stacks should do. Now, I'm also going to override this in the array stack class. And the reason I want to override it here is because overriding it here actually implements the abstraction function. And I just want to show you how easy it is to implement the abstraction function because here we're using the representation. All right, so we don't want to use secondary methods. We don't even want to use an iterator here. We're just going to, so we're going to keep all this stuff in the middle. And we're not going to use any methods here. So this capacity, we already have a variable named capacity. So I want to get rid of the primary methods here. I just want to base this on the three fields that we have, which are element, depth, and capacity. So this is going to be for int I equals 0, while I is less than depth, I plus plus. I'm going to say SB append, and I want to append the element here, which is elements of I. Okay, and now I need to append that, need to append a comma and a space as long as I haven't just added the last element. And the last element will be added when I equals depth minus 1. So I want to say if I is strictly less than depth minus 1, SB append comma space, and let's just take a look at that. Let's see, we got the opening bracket, closing bracket, capacity. We're not using any of the primary methods here. We're strictly using the fields, which are the representation. And that's exactly what the abstraction function does. It takes the fields and it spits out an abstract value. And the abstract value that we're spitting out is the toString. So the only thing I have questions about is depth minus 1, but I'm pretty sure that looks good because I'm incrementing I here, which means I doesn't increment till the end of the loop. Okay, so that's the toString method in both the abstract class and the concrete class, the array stack.